Hello students, how are you? Students, you are welcome in this video. This is the next chapter for 11th class biological classification. So students, we have completed one chapter. If you didn't watch these videos of chapter number 1, so you can go to the playlist and you can watch from there. So students, let's go discuss about the biological classification. It is very interesting and also it is very important for your NEET and AIIMS exam. So let's discuss. So students, first we will discuss about the biological classification. What is it? In the earlier videos of first chapter we have discussed about the biological classification, but now I want to remind you that what is the classification, biological classification. Students, classification, it is the categorization of larger group into a smaller one. So this categorization of larger category into smaller one is known as the classification. But biological classification, when we categorize the whole living world, means each and every living organism is present on the earth, it is the whole living world of a living being. So we can categorize into different small categories of living being to understand easily. So students, this is known as the biological classification. Let's discuss more about it and which content we have to study in this chapter. So students, these are the contents we have to study in this chapter. What they are? Contents in chapter: need of classification, why classification is required, what is the need of classification, types of classification system, what are the types of classification system, means how the scientists categorize into different categories of living being, and this type of categorization is known as the classification system. So which classification system is the modern classification system, and earlier how many classification system were given? So we will discuss about it. Monerans and Protestants. Monerans and Protestants means, students, in 9th class you have read about the five kingdom classification. In these five kingdom, one kingdom is Monera. So we will discuss five kingdom classification in detail. Monera, first kingdom in the five kingdom classification given by the R.H. Whittaker. So we will discuss about the Monera, kingdom Protista, kingdom Fungi and Plantae, Animalia and Virus. Then after Fungi in detail, we will discuss kingdom Plantae, kingdom Animalia, viruses in detail. So students, let's discuss about the need of classification. So keep it in mind what is to be studied in this chapter. So let's discuss. Students, you know, there is the very important thing that what is the need of classification, and sometime it is also the question in your exam that why classification is needed. So let's discuss about it. There have been many attempts to classify living organisms since ancient times. It means different scientists or biologists tried to classify the living organism in different categories. What Aristotle has the very important contribution in the biological classification. Aristotle was the earliest to attempt a scientific basis of classification. So Aristotle was the scientist who classified living being in the scientific manner. So what is it? He used simple morphological character to classify plants as tree, shrubs and herbs. So he classified the living being into plants and animals. These are two categories were given by the Aristotle. You know, students, very well, Aristotle is also a father of biology. So it is written here. So let's discuss. He also classified animals into two groups: in Anima with red blood and Anima without red blood. So these two categories are very important. Sometimes these questions are seen in NEET and AIIMS exam. So it is very important. Anima and Anima are the two categories given by the Aristotle in the classification, the earliest classification. What is the basis of Anima and Anima? So with red blood, the living being which have with red blood is known as the Anima, or it is the category in which living beings which contains the red blood, and the another category of the living being which does not contain the red blood is known as the AIIMS, but it is not the satisfactory. It is not. It does not satisfy the classification system. So according to NEET, different type of classification system were given. So this was the first classification system given by the Aristotle. A need for proper system of classification was always felt. हमेशा ज़रूरत पड़ती रही क्लासिफिकेशन सिस्टम की, क्योंकि धीरे धीरे जब साइंटिस्ट ने अरिस्टोटल के बाद क्लासिफाई करना शुरू किया, तो जो अरिस्टोटल ने ये कैटेगरी दी थी अनाइमा और इनाइमा, these were not sufficient. That is why another classification system were required. So what is it and how new classification gets emerged? So living organism need to be classified because of the following reasons. The study of one or two organism is not sufficient to know the essential features of the group. So students, the study of one or two organism is not sufficient to know the essential feature of the group. Means on the basis of the characteristics of only two or one organism, we can't categorize or we can't describe the characteristic of whole group. That is why classification helps in knowing the relationship amongst the different group of organism. Different group of organism, just like plants have the different type of category, but how these are different and how these are differentiated to each other and how these are similar to each other. So these are relationship between the two categories of the plants as well as animals. So classification, it is very helpful to know the relationship among the different groups of organism. It helps in studying of the evolutionary relationship between organism. So it also very helpful to study the evolutionary relationship between the organism. What is the evolutionary relationship? Students, in 10th class also you have read about the evolution. So evolutionary relationship, that how living beings are formed and what are their ancestors. So means just like human, ancestor of humans are apes. So apes are the ancestor of human, means human being is evolved from the apes. So this is the relationship between the apes and human. So this is known as the evolutionary relationship. So it also very helpful to know the evolutionary relationship between the living organism. So let's discuss more about it. Types of classification. Students, classification system. So what are the types of classification system? It is very important for your NEET AIIMS exam. What are the types of classification system? Means how classification system were proposed step by step, and what are the limitations and advantages of the earlier classification system, we will study in detail. So friends, it is also very important for the NVS and KVS, because many of the questions were asked in earlier exam from this concept. So students, let's discuss about it. Types of classification system. Depending upon the types of system of classification, organisms are classified into following kingdom. Means the categories, category in earlier chapter we have discussed about the taxa or taxon. So this was the category of the classification category, means group, the name of the group in which living being or the different population of the living being is included. So kingdom, it is the broad category. Kingdom means group. You can say it is the larger group of the living being. So when scientists divided all the living world into two categories, two kingdom, then this classification is known as the two kingdom classification. Means just like the AIIMS and AIIMS, Aristotle were also given about the categories of organism, AIIMS and AIIMS, on the basis of red blood. So that classification system, you can say this was the two kingdom classification. So these two categories are known as the two kingdom. So two kingdom classification system also after Aristotle were given by the Linnaeus. So students, it is written here, Linnaeus, the father of taxonomy system, divided all the living organism into two kingdoms in 1758. These are the Plantae and Animalia. Only these are the categories, only are basis on the features, just like whichsoever move, which animals which moves are known as animals, and does not move or sedentary are known as plants. And also more than one feature, just like the plant have the green color or chlorophyll, but animals are those living beings which does not have green color. So this is the base of two kingdom classification. You can look here on the screen in this picture or this chart. Plantae included what type of living being? Algae, fungi, bacteria, bryophytes, pteridophytes, spermatophyta. So these are the categories, or these are the living beings which are included in this kingdom, Plantae. And another one, Coelenterata, Porifera, Platyhelminthes, Mollusca, Nemathelminthes, Annelida, Echinodermata, Chordata. These are the living beings are included in this kingdom. So students, this is the two kingdom classification, but all the things are not clarified in this classification system, because fungi, it is totally different from the plant, but it is included in this category, Plantae. And bacteria also are different from the plant, but they are also included in this. So these are the limitations of the two kingdom classification. So let's discuss more about it. So dear students, three kingdom classification, I have told you the demerits of two kingdom classification, and these demerits are very helpful to propose in the proposal of next classification system, that is three kingdom classification system. So let's discuss about it. Ernst Haeckel, it is very important. Ernst Haeckel proposed that classification system in 1866. Ernst Haeckel classified living organism into three kingdoms: Plantae, Protista, and Animalia. And the kingdom Protista included all those organisms which lack the capabilities of tissue differentiation. Means, what does it mean? Students, the kingdom Protista includes all those organisms which lack the capabilities of tissue differentiation. Means they don't have tissue, they are the unicellular organism, and they are made up of single cell. That is why they don't differentiate it in tissue. So Protista, what these are three kingdom at here, three kingdom: Plantae, Animalia, and Protista. So this one is new for this classification system, because in earlier classification system only two categories were there, Plantae and Animalia, but here in this three kingdom classification, new kingdom is arised, Protista. In kingdom Protista, included organisms are those organisms which does not have the differentiation, tissue differentiation. Means their body is made up of single cell, that is why tissues are absent. So these are algae, fungi, protozoans kingdom Protista. So these are algae, fungi, protozoans kingdom Protista was reserved organism. So in Protista these all are included: fungi, algae, protozoans. So these all are included in this kingdom Protista. So you can understand new categories of the Protista. Means two kingdom classification Protista is the new category in which algae, fungi, protozoans are included. Next one, new letter, unicellular bacteria and slime molds. Means in earlier one all are included in Plantae, but here these are separated from the plants, and new category is Protista. Only for unicellular organism this new category is arrived, Protista. So what are the limitations or demerits of this classification system, three kingdom classification system? What are the demerits? That is why it is discarded. Limitations: prokaryotes and eukaryotes were not separated. Means prokaryotes and eukaryotes were not separated. Protista, it is the new kingdom. In this, algae, fungi, bacteria are also included, slime molds are also included. That is why there is no separation of prokaryotic cells or prokaryotic living being or eukaryotic living being. Next, both unicellular and multicellular organisms were kept together in Protista. Here we can see that all the bacteria, protozoans, these are the unicellular, but algae and fungi, these may be multicellular. So these are also kept here with the unicellular organism. That is why there is no separation of unicellular and multicellular organism. So students, these are the limitations of three kingdom classification. That is why this was discarded and a new classification system were proposed. What was it? So let's discuss about it. So here students, next classification system, four kingdom classification system. The four kingdom classification system included Monera. This is new category students. So be concentrated here. In earlier classification system, only three categories were there: Protista, Plantae and Animalia. But here new category is arrived, new kingdom is arrived, that is Monera. So here new one is Monera. Studies with electron microscope made it clear that bacteria and related organisms have a different nuclear structure as compared to others. So they are prokaryotes. Thus kingdom Monera was created by Copeland. So students, you know, Monera, it is the additional kingdom in which organisms are included those have the prokaryotic structure, means in their cell there is no nucleus is found. That is why all prokaryotes are included in this category, Monerans. And after their ultra structure, after the observation of their ultra structure, Copeland proposed the new category. What was the new category? Copeland proposed the new category, that was the Monera. So it is very important for NEET and AIIMS exam. So Copeland proposed in 1956 Monera. Fungi continue to remain with Plantae in this system, but what is the demerit? Fungi it is included in Plantae. So in this classification system, fungi is still included in the Plantae, but in earlier classification system, in Protista, fungi was kept inside the Protista. So students, these are the minute points, minute terms which are very important for your competitive exam as well as your CBSE exam. So be concentrated on these type of points and words. So what is the demerit? Fungi does not have any place in five kingdom classification system. Means, sorry, this is not five kingdom classification system, this is four kingdom classification system. So it by mistake it is written 5, but it is four classification system, four kingdom classification system. So in four kingdom classification system, fungi does not have any place. So let's discuss next one. So you know, it is very simpler, and also you have read in 9th class, it is very popular, the five kingdom classification system given by the R.H. Whittaker in 1969. This was the new one classification system given by R.H. Whittaker, because some demerits of the four kingdom classification system given by the Copeland, but here R.H. Whittaker included in this four kingdom classification the new category, which is, you know very well, that is fungi. Fungi, it is the separate kingdom proposed by the R.H. Whittaker. So let's discuss in detail this classification system proposed by R.H. Whittaker in 1969. Before 1969, the classification system for the living organism had undergone several changes over time. Whittaker created fungi as separate kingdom. Whittaker proposed the new category, this is fungi. So student, this is also very important. Whittaker proposed the which new category in the five kingdom classification? This one is the fungi. The main criteria for classification used by Whittaker, what is it? The cell structure, mode of nutrition, thallus organization, polygenetic, relationship, reproduction. So what they are? So let's discuss cell structure. Cell structure means which type of structure organism have. Which type of cell structure have? Eukaryotic cell, prokaryotic cell, mode of nutrition, autotrophic nutrition, heterotrophic nutrition, or parasitic. Which type of nutrition the living category organism have? So next one, thallus organization means the living lower category of organism which does not have the differentiated body. So their body is known as the thallus. So thallus is the undifferentiated body. Undifferentiated body. This is known as the thallus. So thallus organization, an organization, which type of thallus means cellular or tissue level organization, cellular level or cell level organization, organ level or organ system level. Which type of organization is found? Polygenetic relationship, phylogenetic relationship. What is it? Phylogenetic relationship, you know, it is the evolutionary relationship. Evolutionary relationship. Evolutionary relationship is also known as the phylogenetic relationship. So we will see in this that which type of phylogenetic relationships are found between two groups. Reproduction. Reproduction, which type of reproduction is found? Asexual, sexual, or which mode of asexual reproduction is found? So students, this is very important, and 5 kingdoms classification we will study in detail. Each kingdom we will study in very detail. So we prepared for it. So let's discuss more about it. Student, this is the flow chart. You know, this system places all living things into one of the 5 basic kingdoms. What they are? Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, then Animalia. This series is also very important, students. What is it? Monera is first, then second one is Protista, third one is Fungi, and fourth one is Plantae, and then Animalia. How these are given in this series? So students, this is the basic concept, and also there is the fact behind it, because Monera, it is the simpler structure, but they are prokaryote, because they don't have the nucleus. So these are prokaryotes, and this one is, these are eukaryote, means little bit advanced from it. So earlier one, it is lesser advanced, but newest is the more advanced. So Protista, some advanced feature means nucleus is found, but this is unicellular. Next one is Fungi. Some advanced feature are included in Fungi, then in comparison to Protista, because fungi are unicellular as well as multicellular and eukaryotic cells. But fungi, it is not differentiated body. It does not have a differentiated body because there is no root, leaves. So that is why it is lower or less advanced, and the more advanced is Plantae, because all the body parts are differentiated. That is why it is more advanced. Then animal body is more complex than plants. That is why Animalia, it is advanced kingdom, and it is kept here in last. So these all kingdoms are put here in a series. So this series is very important, students. Students, in this video, this is the ending portion. In next video, we will discuss 5 kingdom in details, 5 kingdom classification given by R.H. Whittaker. So students, thank you very much for watching this video. If you like this video, comment in comment box. Also share more and more among your friend and subscribe it. Thank you.